Go Ninja, Go Ninja Go. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows is a film that is so fun you forget about any problems that it has. I'm Rob from the Hybrid Network, and I'm going to give you a quick 5-minute review of it. I'm going to start off with the good points of this film, and it's the turtles themselves. They were so perfect from the way they acted, the way they looked, and the way they fought. You could tell they took time and care with this, instead of them all being big, hulking beasts that they were in the first film. The only big, bulking one is Raph, and that's because he should be. He's the brute out of all them. He's the big, muscular one. Also, the way they interacted with each other was so perfect. You could tell they were only just grown up, that they were teenagers, not adults. They had so much responsibility for being so young. And they mention that. It's just so much. They take up a large part of this film, which is what the first film failed at doing. By doing that, they've really saved this film. Because if they didn't spend so much time with the turtles, my score for this film would be a lot lower than what it is. And you know, other parts of this film that worked really well were Bebop and Rocksteady. You could tell that they were real friends. Like, you felt the chemistry through the screen. It was so good. They were funny and awesome. Every time you saw them, you were like, I'm in for a good time here. Even before they turned into, you know, the Rhino and the Warthog, they were so good. Now, Krang and Shredder are meant to be the main villains in this film. However, I believe the real villain is Casey Jones and Stephen Amell, because he just doesn't do it for me. There's very little similarities between him and the cartoon counterpart, which is the only character to have very little similarities between him and the cartoon counterpart, apart from April O'Neil. And even her, she is more like her cartoon counterpart in this film than she was in the first film. So they're making progress. They were stuck with Megan Fox, so they made it work. They did the best they could. And honestly, I'm happy that they did. They made it work really well, and that's what I liked. They picked Stephen Amell because he has a large following. He can bring in audiences, most likely. That's what they were probably banking on. He has a big following on Facebook and Twitter and everything because of his role in Arrow, and he has a big fan base. People love him as Arrow. Well, not recently, but he still has a huge fan base. They were probably hoping for that, so they just put him in this and they were like, right, Casey Jones. He can be Casey Jones. That's what I think their thought must have been. So they had to change Casey Jones because he didn't look much like Casey Jones. He doesn't act a lot like Casey Jones. He's a very, I want to say cool guy, but he's a very pretty boy. That's more what he's like. The story was very simple and plain. Everything about this film that wasn't the Turtles or Bebop and Rocksteady was very okay. It was just very simple, nothing major, groundbreaking, which I didn't expect that going into this film at all. You know, I expected fun. I got fun. Can I complain about that? I can't at all. It's nothing fancy. It's just good to see the Turtles back on screen. Whenever the Turtles go off screen, all you're doing is waiting for either Bebop or Rocksteady or the Turtles. That's all you're doing. That's pretty good for a Turtles film, and they weren't off screen long. But when they were spending time with the other characters, it didn't work. Obviously, Will Arnett was in this a lot less, which I love. And don't get me wrong, I find Will Arnett funny. And in this, he was funny because he was only in it for little bits, and I didn't feel like it was Will Arnett's film. And they even like joke about that in this film. It's like a little bit of a dig at the first film, like they make Will Arnett like the big hero. I really enjoyed that, and this film has plenty of Easter eggs for you to look for Transformers to Vanilla Ice. So if you're bored, right, and you want your day brightening up a little bit, go see Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows. Don't worry if you haven't seen the first one, because it's probably best if you haven't. This film makes very little callbacks to that film at all, if any. Overall, I'd give this film a 7 out of 10. It's just so fun. Yes, it has problems, and, you know, I can get past these problems because the way they interact, the characters interact, it's all about family and having fun. That's what this film is. You know, take your family, enjoy it. If you got anybody in your family, like a little kid, and they don't really know what the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are, and you're like my age, so you're 18 to 20, right? Take them to see this, and they will love it, and you'll love it because, you know, you remember the old Turtles, and that's what these are, the old Turtles. 7 out of 10. I've been Rob from the Hybrid Network. Please like, subscribe. Goodbye.